What a year the naira has had. The Nigerian legal tender started the year at about 750 naira, eventually hitting an all-time low of about 1,160 naira at the official market, and eventually growing to about 800 naira or about that rate. We've seen the naira go through a roller coaster over the year. And joining me now to assess the performance of the naira throughout the year 2022 is a financial analyst, Adeadebayo Shuaib. Thank you for joining us on the program this morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Let us begin with an assessment of how the naira has fared so far. Of course, we started the year 2023 with the policy, the naira redesign policy, where the old naira notes, I beg your pardon, was supposed to have stopped being used by about the 30th of January. But that has gone on to be a whole episode on its own. It has gone on for months right now. But how would you assess or say the naira has fared so far, speaking on the 12 months or the 11 months that we have experienced so far in the year 2023?
Thank you very much. The naira up and downward trajectory will be contributed to a lot of factors. But let me start from where you pick it up. If you are outrightly correct that we have a new note redesign in Nigeria, and if you look at that episode, it's a situation where Nigeria decides to be buying their own currency, and money for printing that particular naira redesign will automatically increase the naira against dollar. Why am I saying that? There are a lot of materials that we need to buy in order to print. In fact, if you do your due diligence well, printing 200 naira can cost nothing less than 300 or 400. That aside, many other things, the government of the day came in with a renewed hope agenda, and want to boost the investor confidence by ensuring that we have a single rate window. This policy have also have its own impact. In the short time, it will have a negative impact. That is why you are seeing naira as of today, as you have quoted, 1,116. Even in the parallel market, we have 927 to a dollar. This having much bites on naira. Looking at also the announcements of removal of subsidy also contributed largely to this. But are we in the right direction? The question begs for an answer. And I will tell you that what the current president and his team, they are doing is the right point in the right direction, right step in the right direction. But it will take a longer period before it reflects.
Okay, I'll take you from your point on the convergence of the naira. We understand that mid-year we did see the CBN try to converge the rate. Initially, we had about 3 to 4 different exchange rates. But right now, the I&E window caters to all needs in terms of forex. And on the other hand, we have the unofficial market, speaking of the black market. But how would you say that has been so far, speaking on the convergence of the naira? How has that impacted in the currency market so far?
Yes, it is a good policy that the CBN governor have announced, and it will have a minimal effect for now. The minimal effect is that it will weaken the naira currently because we want to unify it to boost the confidence of investors. That's the sole reason why we need to have a one uniform exchange rates. But on the interim, it will bring a surge because the CBN has inherited a lot of backlog. So if that policy is a good policy, but for now, it will have a negative effect on our naira. Why am I saying that? Before the CBN will be able to clear the backlog, they are doing that, and they promise us before the June of next year, they will have cleared it. But looking at that, what begs for foreign currency is what we should look at. It's not even about the policy. The policy is good, but before we can have naira strengthening, gaining its right position back to 400 or 500 or let's say 300, it will take us not less than in the next 4 years by my analysis. By June next year, you will see it may crash to 700 or 600. Why? Because the announcement have boosted the confidence of investors currently. Naira continue to increase. If you watch the window rate well, it comes down. Why is going up, coming down? The moment the CBN governor announces this, the market responded positively, and you see that the naira gains strength. But currently, because of the backlog that we have, it will continue to increase. But towards this December ending, I must tell you, because there are some foreign, our diaspora remittance that will be coming in, will make the naira gain more weight against dollar. If by next year or next 2 years, what the president and his team is currently doing to hold investors, the moment it continues to yield results, you'll be seeing that we will have more production. The solution is production, production, and production. The mechanism the CBN is doing is very right and correct, but naira will only gain a significant impact and increase against dollar if the production continues to roll in some few years. You will agree with me, the Saudi Arabia government, the German government, Indian, and all these things, they have pledged a lot of money to bring in. The moment they are bringing their money in, the policy government should take this. Maybe in the next 5 years, before you repatriate your money, a percentage is what you can take. In the next 10 years, a certain percentage. By then, the money that is coming in from the foreign investor will make the naira to appreciate, and we have production. So, in summary, before I get your next question or interaction, is that production is the solution. The CBN policy is a short-term measure, which is a good one for every one of us. Like in the foreign country, you don't see where we have a black market, and this is what the government is trying to stop. If I need a foreign currency, I need a dollar as for example, as importer of vehicle. I go to my bank cannot produce the dollar to me. The next thing the average dealer will do is to go and source for this dollar. So it's putting more pressure. The law of demand is very clear. The higher the supply, the lower the price. The higher the supply, the lower the supply, the higher the price. That is what is giving the naira and dollar that we are seeing currently. But I can assure you, at the end of the tunnel, there should be a light.
Taking you from your point on the I&E window being unable to cater to all the needs with regards to the needs for Forex, we saw an exodus of people moving to the unofficial market, and that also impacted not just importers and exporters, but obviously manufacturing as well. We saw the foreign trade report released today by the NBS showing that the amount of monies that came into Nigeria within the third quarter increased over time due to the devaluation of the naira. What would you have to say about that? How has that impacted importation and manufacturing generally?
Well, when we look at the statistic results released by the our statistician general from the Bureau of Statistics, you will agree with me that in the last 6 months, we are not doing bad. Although a good point needs to be put out here. The moment the naira gets weaker, you will agree, many people want to take that advantage. If you look at the report submitted by Adeadebayo of Statistics, in quarter 3 of last year, we are doing 5.9 trillion exports. But in this year, we do 10.3. We do 5.9 trillion in last year, we do 10.3, representing almost 61% increase. But when it comes to imports, our import is even lower compared to our exports. So the high window encourage us to do more because we are in the official in the quarter 3 of 2022. We have 5.9 trillion imports, and in 2023 we have 5.6 or 5 trillion, 8.6 or 8.5, approximately 8.5 trillion, representing 48% increase. What I would like to say here is very simple. The IE window is very okay. It's a good policy, one single rate. It will assist us in the near future. The impact can only be felt little because of the backlog that CBN needs to clear. Although these were inherited from the past government, but government is a continuous, is a going concern. So until when this is cleared, before we cannot have a good balance of trade. Currently, we have a balance of trade of 1.89, approximately 1.9 billion from the compare imports to exports, which is favorable. And as I've said, in this quarter alone, in the total trade we have for both crude and non crude oil, you will agree with me that the crude oil still contributes to the higher chunk of what we export. Now that the government is making concerted efforts to bring in an investor and promote the local manufacturer, we believe that all things being equal, non-oil production will assist our naira to gain strength. Aside from that, Dangote refinery is coming on full scale December. The test run is ongoing, and Port Harcourt refinery. The moment we stop to depend on the crude oil that is refined overseas, our own product that is refined overseas, and we are refining it in here, that money we gain from crude oil sales will be able to boost our naira, and the naira, as I've said and forecast, by next year, say June, will be around 600-700, but by the end of next year, I think we see ourselves around 500 or 400.
Okay, speaking of the fiscal and monetary sides of government, we now have new drivers on that seat. Speaking of the CBN governor and the Minister of Finance in the persons of Yemi Cardoso and Wale Edun as the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy. From your point of view, what are the immediate issues this person should be addressing within the monetary and fiscal sides of government?
Thank you very much. The Minister of Finance have moved in the right direction. If you look at the Minister of Finance, is the one coordinating is the Minister for the Fiscal Policy, where we have our Chairman Federal Inland Revenue in person of Mr. Zacchaeus. Look at what the President have done before even the assumption of the Minister and the Chairman of Federal Inland Revenue. There is a tax reform policy committee headed by Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, And what they are trying to do is to ensure our fiscal policy is strengthened enough by easing the tax burden of a local manufacturer, easing the tax burden of Nigeria businessmen and women, by ensuring that the tax, we have a lot of various taxes, but what this committee is trying to do is to ensure that we know, business person knows the type of tax they will pay and when to pay. Reducing this burden, the committee is currently working on ease of doing business. If that fiscal policy is strengthened and the interim report has been submitted, the moment the president approves, you will agree with me that many businesses will spring up, and they knew that when they pay their tax as I went due, there is a lot of benefit. Looking at what the chairman have just done, based on your question, the chairman Inland Revenue have already waived penalty or fines to those who are yet to pay their tax as incentive given to taxpayer based on this new regime. So in the fiscal side, the minister, the coordinating minister of economy, they are in the right trajectory, and also the CBN governor for ensuring that we clear all this backlog. The backlog is the first important thing, and the minister, the CBN announced one thing. He said, the CBN is not there for business.
Well said.
If you agree with me?
Well said, Adeadebayo. Thank you for all your insights this morning. Your views are deeply appreciated. And this is where we wrap up today's edition of the program Business Daily on Trust TV. Quite an insightful one there, talking about the performance of the naira from the month of January 2023 up until now, the month of December 2023. Join us again tomorrow where we bring you updates on happenings in the world of business. For now, my name is Chiamaka Inendu. Bye for now.